worship of the moon god in ancient Arabia. The Arabians who suffer from the excessive heat of the sun preferred to worship the moon god, who gives them cool breeze and dewdrops, thereby helping them in farming and development of green grass for their goats and camels. I mean, hey, who can blame them? I think if I were in the desert heat all the time as well, I think I would start to appreciate the moon a little bit more my own self. You'd start to say to yourself, whew, thank God for nighttime. Getting a little bit hot, right? That is why perhaps they were called Asuras, as opposed to the Indo-Aryans who called themselves Suras, or Devas. And that's where that word comes from, diva. Oh, I'm a diva, right? Because here we're basically in a sun world right now, right? The Roman religion is a veiled analogy for sun worship. And so proudly you would call yourself a diva, right? Oh, I'm a diva, right? I'm a sun worshiper. Since they're in control, there's no problem to promote that. But it also comes down to is they don't, and not everyone knows exactly what's going on, but that's where the word comes from, okay? Diva, little kids use words that they don't always know, but they have an idea. Ooh, and the important people are called divas, so I too want to be called a diva. You get what I'm saying? And then you have Soras and Asuras, and you see how language works there, where in this case is like a negation of, or the inversion. But anyway, so the Soras worship the sun god. The Indian mythology is full of wars between the Soras and the Asuras. I think this makes sense. There's been, not just Indian mythology, but all over, just history of the world. You can see that there's wars between what we, generally call light and dark, good and bad, right? Makes sense. Sin, the moon god of ancient Arabia, occupied the chief place in the astral triad. Its other two members, Shamus, the sun god, and Ishtar, the planet Venus, were his children. So you get that? It's saying that not only is the moon the most important, but the moon is essentially the creator of the sun and Venus. It's interesting, because you would be thinking it just looking up in the sky. The sun appears much brighter, much bigger to me a little bit, but either way. His wife was Ningal. Nusku, the god of fire, was his son. Even today, the crescent moon and the planet Venus in the middle is the universal symbol of Islam. It is reported in the Wikipedia that the crescent moon has been used by the Arab religions as far back as the time of Abraham. Now, that last sentence there is a little self-referential, but a little kind of silly. Hey, there's an article that says this, and I wrote the article. And anyway, point is, it's definitely used, and that article you can find at Wikipedia about Chandra, which is the Hindu Indian moon god.